Welcome to John, your daily sports dump, where we plunge into the sports world. We are your sports pipeline for breaking news, game recaps, and the hottest take in the sports industry. While you're taking care of business, let us flush out the details and fill you in on what's happening. So take a seat, get comfortable, and make sure you have plenty of TP. It's time to explode the commode. I'm John, your host, and today we'll give my reactions to the NFL Conference Championship games, how I think Josh Allen is the modern-day version of Dan Marino, and lastly, why Philly sports fans are the worst. First up, the Eagles and the Commanders. Third time these teams met this year, and it was clear one of them flushed their game plan straight down the pipes. Now, last episode, I picked the Eagles to win. Spoiler alert, I was right. But I thought the game would be closer. Turns out the Commanders, who hadn't turned the ball over all postseason, decided to have a giveaway party. 4 turnovers. It's like dropping your phone in the toilet 4 times in one day. Just unacceptable. Jane Daniels, who's been looking like Superman all postseason, finally took off the cape and put on a pair of Crocs. Still solid, but human. The Eagles' defense? Oh, they were a nightmare. Sure, they only had 3 sacks, but they were living in Daniels' backfield rent-free. This guy had no time to think. He probably woke up today still feeling like someone was chasing him. The Eagles' offense. Offensively, the Eagles came out swinging. Their first offensive play set the tone for the game. And if you only watched that play, you'd know exactly how this game went. Saquon rushed for a 60-yard touchdown on the first offensive play of the game for the Eagles. They racked up 460 total yards. That's the kind of number that makes a defensive coordinator want to call in sick. And I've got to admit, Jalen Hurts proved me wrong. He looked like he was playing chess while the Commanders were stuck on checkers. 20 for 28, 248 yards, 1 passing touchdown through the air, and 3 rushing touchdowns. This man wasn't just cooking, he was hosting a full-on tailgate party. Now, I've criticized him before for holding onto the ball too long, kind of like someone hogging the bathroom line at a tailgate. But against the Commanders, he was smart, made quick decisions, avoided constant sacks, and kept the offense moving. Honestly, he won them that game. Now, I think they need to run through Saquon if they want to win the Super Bowl, which is what I'll dive into next. But I do think they need to give the ball to Saquon more than just 15 times. If you want to beat the Chiefs defense. We saw that in the second half yesterday, the Bills' rushing offense was miles different than it was in their first meeting. So I think they need to live through that run game, and I think that's how they win the game, honestly. Now let's talk Saquon. But let me tell you, this offense might run through Hurts, but Saquon Barkley, he's a secret sauce. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Saquon is having the best running back season we've ever seen. Do I even need to say more? The dude had 15 carries and 118 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's 8 yards per carry. If you're not impressed, you're probably one of those people who still doesn't wash their hands after using the bathroom. Gross. Here's the thing, though. The Eagles need to give Saquon the ball more. 15 carries? Come on. That's like getting a small soda when you're clearly dying of thirst. Give the man more touches if you want to win the Super Bowl. Yes, Hurts looked great, but this offense goes as Saquon goes. So there you have it. The Eagles dominated, the Commanders cracked under pressure, Saquon continues to look like the best player on the field, but hey, if the Eagles want to host the Lombardi, they better keep feeding Saquon. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. And speaking of buffets, if you're listening to this in the bathroom, I hope this segment made it a little more enjoyable there. All right, folks, if you're listening to this on the throne, get comfy, because we're about to dive into the Bills-Chiefs game, a game that left me feeling more emotionally drained than the bathroom after a chili cookout. Let's talk about it. This game, just pure sadness for me. Watching it felt like football gods were playing a cruel joke on Josh Allen and the Bills. Again. I mean, we all know the Chiefs are on the verge of something historic here. What they're doing here might be the NFL equivalent of discovering the secret to unclogging the worst toilet backup of all time. But seriously, can Josh Allen just win one for once? This guy is the modern-day Dan Marino. Insane stats, incredible talent, and the teams that are really good but not good enough. It's like giving someone a plunger when they really need a professional plumber. Allen reminds me a lot of Jim Kelly in those 90s Bills teams. Amazing, but when it came to the big moments, they just couldn't get it done. And Allen, he had the best season yet. This guy was on fire in the second half, which, let's be real, is the half that actually matters. But even with that performance, it wasn't enough. The Chiefs keep finding ways to crush dreams like a clogged toilet that you thought you'd fixed, only for it to overflow again. Now, I got a text that Josh Allen is a Pat statter. Josh Allen is not a Pat statter. If anything, Lamar is a Pat statter because he goes and gets these insane stats in the regular season, and in the postseason, he doesn't do anything. Yes, if you want to say the Lamar argument with Josh Allen that they might not win as much in the playoffs, I can get behind that. But saying that Lamar is a Pat statter or that Josh Allen is a Pat statter is a crazy statement. He wins in the playoffs, and he plays well in the playoffs. It's not like Lamar. The reason why I think Lamar is a Pat statter is because Lamar doesn't win in the playoffs, and he plays bad in the playoffs. Lamar looked good on one drive against the Bills. Josh Allen looked good the whole game. Josh Allen is not a Pat statter. Josh Allen plays well. His team doesn't win. He can't control his defense not stopping the Chiefs. He can't do that. He's not a defensive player. So I think that someone texting me that Josh Allen is a Pat statter, it's not true. Lamar Jackson is a Pat statter. Josh Allen is a stat patter because he pads his stats because of how good he plays. Lamar Jackson pads his stats in the regular season, and then when he plays actual teams in the playoff, he doesn't. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. One moment in the game that gave me a glimmer of hope was when the Chiefs turned the ball over. I smiled so big I could have been cast as the Grinch in the next holiday special. Usually when the Bills win the turnover battle, they win the game. But last night, nope, just a big old flush of those hopes. And listen, I have to point some of the blame at Sean McDermott. I get it. Going for two shows you believe in your offense, but sometimes you just need to take points and trust your defense. It's like when you go to a gas station bathroom. Sure, you want to believe you can power through, but sometimes you just have to back off and reassess your life choices. I'll admit it, last episode I picked the Bills to win, but if I'm being honest, that pick came from pure spite. I just don't like the Chiefs. Not because they're bad. Oh no. They're a high-efficiency toilet in the NFL. They don't waste anything and get their job done every time. And let's talk why they were so good. Travis Kelce had 2 receptions last night, and they still won. Why? Xavier Worthy. This guy is the X factor with a capital X. He's got the fastest 40-yard dash time in NFL history, and watching him, you can see he's the second coming of Tyreek Hill. Worthy had 6 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. And I'm telling you, if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, it's going to be because of him. No corner in this league can keep up with him in man-man coverage, and he's got the sixth sense for finding the holes in the defense, like one of those drain snakes that somehow unclogs everything. This guy is impossible to stop. Now, I don't want to say this, but I do want the Chiefs to win. But I really don't. But I kind of do at the same time. Yeah. I know. It sounds like I'm sitting on a throne of lies. But hear me out. What Kansas City is doing right now is historic. We're talking 90s Bulls level domination. They're standing on the edge of becoming the first team in NFL history to pull off a three-peat. Let that sink in. A three-peat. That's pure dominance. And yes, I'm saying this as a Bears fan, so you know it's legit because my team hasn't been dominant since ever. Maybe the 80s. Maybe. And Patrick Mahomes, my guy has basically cemented himself as the second best quarterback in NFL history. Second best. I want to emphasize that. This dude's career is so good, he makes other quarterbacks look like they're out there playing Madden on rookie mode. Now, I'll admit, if he had beaten Brady in this Super Bowl, we'd be having very different conversation. But hey, it didn't happen, and I don't write the GOAT debate rules. I just bend them to suit my arguments. Here's the kicker, though. The main reason I want the Chiefs to win isn't just for the history. Oh, no, I want them to win and shut up the most annoying sports fans in the world. That's right. I'm talking about Philly sports fans, Eagles fans especially. You guys are bathroom graffiti for the sports fandom. Loud, messy, and impossible to ignore. And listen, I'm saying this as a Bears fan. I'm the guy who goes into every single season saying, this is our year, knowing full well I'll spend the playoffs crying into a deep dish pizza. So I'm coming from a place of pain and humility. Philly fans, though, you guys think the whole world is against you every single game, even when you're playing the Jets. It's like, oh, the refs are out to get us. No, you're just playing bad defense. You guys are arrogant, cocky, and honestly, it's too much. You win the NFC Championship game, a game you were supposed to win, and then I see videos of you humping the cars in celebration on social media. Like, dude, what? Calm down. This isn't the Super Bowl. It's not even that impressive. You guys beat a banged-up Niners team 2 years ago that was held together by Brock Purdy's last remaining brain cell. Let's see what you guys do in a real game this postseason before you start climbing grease poles again, Philly. Oh, and don't think I forgot about Sixers fans. You guys aren't off the hook. Your star player, yeah, I'm looking at you, Joel Embiid, is the biggest baby in the NBA. This guy wouldn't play if he had a paper cut, and the fans are somehow worse. You've been riding this whole trust the process thing for years. Where's that process gotten to you? Losing in the first 2 rounds of playoffs? If the process by you mean processing how to choke, then yeah, I'd say mission accomplished. And don't even get me started on this season. You guys won't even make the playoffs. So yeah, as much as I don't want the Chiefs to win, I kind of need it to happen. Not for the Kansas City Chiefs fans, not for the Mahomes, but for the rest of us, so we can flush away the noise coming from Philly fans for just a little while. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of The John, your daily sports dump, where we talked my reactions about the NFL playoffs, how Josh Allen is similar to Dan Marino. Finally, for my sanity, how I need the Chiefs to shut the Philly fans up. Hit me in the comment section down below, and make sure to follow my Instagram for sports updates and hot takes in real time. And if you're looking for even more sports talk, check the Sports Syllabus, where my partner and I tackle the hottest topics in college sports and beyond. It's a 2-ply discussion, strong, reliable, and always ready to clean up the messiest takes in sports. Join me next time for The John, your daily sports dump, where we'll be dropping the kids off at the pool for sports updates. Until then, keep your game face on and stay regular. This is The John, signing off.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes. Somebody open the window.